This video will be a guide to Dynamic Punch and Cross-Shot Machamp. I think it's going to gain a lot of popularity right now since its win rate is quite high and Machamp has just always been a very strong Pokemon for a long time already now. It has very good laning phase, it's a melee all-rounder, it has insane early game last hitting, and it also has a game deciding or game changing Unite move that can just swing a team fight very fast, and that allows you to carry games super easily. For the build, held items, we have Attack Weight, Scope Lens, and Razor Claw. We just want to boost our attack damage as much as we can, allows Machamp to do insane amounts of damage out of his auto attacks, and Scope Lens, Razor Claw. Razor Claw is an amazing item for almost any melee, but especially on Machamp as well, because we do a lot of more bursts with it. And Scope Lens, our ability, our cross shot can actually crit, and our auto attacks can also do a crazy amount of damage when they crit, so we just want as much crit as we can, and also boosting our attack by a lot. For battle item, we always go eject button. We'll talk about later why. There's no other held item you should go, or battle item you should go on this build. And then for emblems, you can either go for a brown and crit page. Again, crits are very strong on this Pokemon, so you can either decide to go this. If you don't have necessarily crit, you can also totally go a page like this. Just make sure you have 6 brown, maybe 4 white in it, and then you either go attack, or you go crit, or HP. All of those are totally fine options. Machamp is a 3-evolution Pokemon, so we start the game off with Machop. We have 2 abilities, Karate Chop and Bulk Up, and Karate Chop will be our main last hitting tool. This is what makes Machamp or Machop so good in laning phase. It's because it does a crazy amount of damage early game. You can see already here, on level 1 it does 541 damage to Baltoy, so it's very insane last hitting. On level 3 we pick up Bulk Up, which even gives us better last hitting as well, but first it's a self buff. We gain some attack speed and some attack damage, and we also gain Unstoppable during this entire duration, so we can dodge some stuns or other forms of CC. And so it also gives us a boost auto attack, so you can do like early game damage like this, you can do Bulk Up and then this into auto attack and a Karate Chop, and you can see those increase our damage. Right now this is 581, we activate it, and now we have 629 damage, so even more last hitting in these early game stages. For the basic attacks, the boosted auto attack is just very standard, but it slows as well. So let's see right here, if we boost auto attack this thing, if it walks out, you can see it gets slowed a tiny bit, but not much. But yeah, this is a boost auto attack is a slow. You can see right here, there's the slow. And it's also a small gap closer, so you can cast it from further away like this, and you will start jumping towards your opponents. I mean, Machamp has a pretty good auto attack range, but yeah, it can even be used across walls. Like if the wall is not big enough, you can actually make it across the wall. Let's talk about Machamp's passive as well. Every time he gets stunned, slowed, has a burn on it, you can see we get the Guts effect, which is 10% increased attack damage for 5 seconds. And this even works in Enemy Flux Zone. So if you get slowed by something, as you can see, it activates and you get bonus attack damage. You have to reapply it, like this. You can't just stay in it and have permanent attack damage, but yeah, it's also quite good. Just Machamp getting a lot more attack damage in. On level 5 we get our first evolution done and we pick up Dynamic Punch, what makes this build so good. It's a dash in direction right here. It can make it across a lot of walls, even ones that look like they're kinda, too big to jump over. It has a lot of range that you might not expect, like this right here. You can even make it across this wall. So very amazing. It doesn't look like it, but you should just go into try mode and try every single wall in this game before you maybe play this Pokemon to understand against what what walls it can actually go over. And yeah, very good tool to also just chase or escape with. Then it does a lot of things. So this move does a crazy amount of things. First, it stuns in this area and deals damage. So for half a second stuns opponents. Then it slows them as well. So anyone who gets a Dynamic Punch gets slowed also for 3 seconds. Then it also gives us attack damage and move speed. So after casting, you can see we are faster. This will slowly decay over time, but we also get faster and we also get more attack damage for this entire duration. You can see that flame under us is the attack damage buff as well. And then it also gives us a boost auto attack. So we do a lot of damage instantly. Dynamic Punch into auto attack. Especially in early game, this will do a lot of damage. If you just Dynamic Punch, boost auto attack, and Karate Chop someone, they will take a crazy amount of damage. So this move really does a lot of things. And this is also where our eject button comes in play, what I talked earlier about, because we can use eject button during Dynamic Punch to make it have even more range. So like this, and we can surprise our opponents easily. We can always reach, the enemy carry in late game team fights and combine it with our Unite move, which I also talk about later. And you can even hit multiple targets with this. As you can see right here, it's a bit tricky, but if you time it well, you can even do damage multiple times to multiple targets in both of these areas, which is kind of hilarious. On level 7, we pick up Cross Chop. Close Combat is also quite fine, but Cross Chop is just a better move right now. It is very strong. It's a dash in a direction as well, so similar to Dynamic Punch. It also gives you mobility. This one does get stuck a bit easier on walls, so it doesn't really make it always over, as you can see right here. I'm gonna be a bit careful with this one. It's not like Dynamic Punch where it gets an increased range depending on where you jump over. But yeah, it's a dash in direction and it does just damage. It just straight up does damage right here. Damage in direction. And this thing can crit. This ability can actually crit. So if we just do it a few times. Of course, I don't have a lot of crit rate yet, but you can see that was the crit. I was actually 130. Oh my god. That's a gamer move right here, the gamer number. So yeah, it crits a good amount. Has a decent crit rate. And of course, you wanted to crit. That's why we have Scope Lens, Razor Claw, maybe even crit emblems. And this move also has an increased crit rate. And after also hitting cross chop, you also have increased crit rate for like 5 seconds afterwards. That's actually 3 seconds. And I also don't know if it's actually still bugged. There was a time where it was bugged. And honestly, I can't tell if it's fixed by now. It might not work. It might not be the case. But yeah, it's supposed to give 5% crit rate after using cross chop for 3 seconds. On level 9, our Fine Evolution is done, and we pick up the Unite move, which is absolutely insane. This is a complete game changer in team fights. First, we activate it, and we get a buff for 10 seconds. We get increased move speed, we get increased defense stats as well. Actually, Machamp gets tanky, as you can see right here. Increased effect, attack damage, defense, special defense, and increased move speed for a short time, all while activating this. And then it has a second part where we reactivate it and just punch everything in front of us. We still keep the buff as well, you can see. Just because we activate our Unite move doesn't mean the buff is gone. We keep this buff for 10 seconds. So yeah, and it just punches everyone in the area, stuns them, and it deals an insane amount of damage. We're also unstoppable doing this, so the only thing that can really stop us is a slow Unite. So as soon as we activate it and start punching, it's just almost game over for the enemy team. Literally, it is literally game over. This is one of the best Unite moves that can just swing a team fight and just 100-0 almost any squishy Pokemon. So your damage will also be crazy during this. So as you can see, like my damage will be very insane since we have that increased attack damage as well. So there's multiple ways of playing with this Unite. Either you want to activate it early and then just instantly fight in or jump in, or you want to activate it during a fight and then just look for something. You deactivate it, you start auto-attacking a bit, use your moves a bit, and then you start activating your Unite move later on. But you can also, this is how I usually play it, right? You activate your Unite move from far away, and then you just look for a dynamic punch, eject button onto the enemy backline, and then you Unite move them. That wasn't quite in range, but you see what I'm trying to say. And this is how we kind of want to play team fights. Very, very important. Also be careful again. They can actually kind of get stuck. Like this can get stuck on walls a bit. So if you're not careful enough, the enemies might kind of glitch out of it. But yeah, we activate our Unite move, we dynamic punch eject button onto enemy backline, and we start punching. As you can see right here on this wall, we can get stuck in. There's a lot of walls where you might not, you know, have to be a bit careful. It does get stuck on walls quite easily. On level 11, we get Dynamic Punch Plus, which just gives us more move speed, so now you can see we are very fast after using Dynamic Punch. Of course, I just picked up a berry, but without the berry as well, you can see we are much faster. And then on level 13 is where Machamp becomes insanely strong as well. We pick up Cross Shot Plus, and there's so many people in this game who don't know what Cross Shot Plus actually do. It's kind of like an inbuilt attack weight. So, what we do with Cross Shot is, every time we basic attack something, now you can see on the bottom right, we get a stack of Cross Shot. And every of those stacks of Cross Shot gives us 2 attack damage, up to 40 stacks, which means we can get an additional 80 attack damage after level 13. And the nice part is, so the main goal after getting level 13 is try to find some Itarias somewhere. Go to some Itarias and start auto-attacking them, because every single basic hit against these is going to give you 4 stacks instantly. You can see right on the bottom. For if you hit multiple targets at the same time, you stack it up very fast. And your goal should be stacking Cross Shot up as fast as you can late game for that additional 80 attack damage, and just makes our crits do so much more damage late game. You can see already now if we crit something, it does a crazy amount of damage, and Machamp's auto attacks are really hilarious. Besides that, Machamp has a very in and out playstyle, so you just want to jump in, Dynamic Punch, Cross Shot either back out or further into the enemy team, because you can see your cooldowns. After your cooldowns are done, you don't really do all too much, so you have to be very careful. So it's literally just Dynamic Punch, make sure we get rid of our boost auto attack, and then we start stunning again. And if you're already team fighting someone, you can also just do this, build up a boosted auto attack, right, during a fight, and then boost auto attack into Dynamic Punch into Cross Shot. And this will do a lot of damage. Always make sure you don't just do, if you have a boost auto attack up to Dynamic Punch, because then you kind of waste the entire boost auto attack. I did say it goes across walls. I'm not sure if there's a wall right here that can actually show it off right now. But yeah, this can actually, the boost auto attack can go across walls if the enemy is, far away enough. Like this right here, you can see I jumped the wall, auto-attacking it, but of course the wall has to be right there. And there's some more things you can do with your Unite move. You can also eject button during Unite move, so like this. You can forward, and you can kind of redirect your Unite move to maybe hit your enemies, and if you kind of feel like you whiffed it, you can do like this, and you can still hit your opponents. Quite nice. But again, our main tool should be, we look for a team fight, we see our squishy opponent, we pop our Unite move, we then make punch eject button, and then we start punching. Of course it wasn't in range right now, and he had to evolve. So yeah, like this, and we stun, and then we punch the bot, like the enemies. Very good against the Decidueyes, of course, so if you see the Decidueye in the enemy team, you're just gonna die to this every single time. Just gotta make sure you kind of watch out for targets that have full heal or eject button up or something. Because if the enemies don't have those things, then they're just an easy target. So, you know, any squishy that has X attack, they're very easy pickings for Machamp. And this can just wipe teamfights completely if they're not aware of this. You can also always reposition a tiny bit, so don't instantly unite move if you feel like, I don't have a good angle. Since they're stunned for a tiny bit, you can kind of take your time, readjust a tiny bit. Or you can also just use the eject button during your unite move. Can also be a bit awkward though, of course, depending on where your opponents are. But also very nice combo. You can also cross-shop, and you can also close gaps with cross-shop first, so we can do like a cross-shop, auto range, and then dynamic punch to get closer to our targets. Totally fine, we don't have to use necessarily cross-shop as a damage tool either, it's also just a good mobility tool that gets us across, you know, yeah, exactly, things. Again, very hard to catch Pokemon, because you can see we can, you know, we can run across the wall, like the map very easily with a lot of escapes across walls. Again, cross-shop can get stuck, even in things like this. It's kind of awkward, so you have to always be a bit careful that you make it over. Not gonna make every single wall, as you can see right here as well as an example. Doesn't always work. And yeah, I think that's a pretty straightforward Pokemon. We can use our cross-shop obviously as last hitting as well. The only problem with last hitting on objectives is it has a crit rate, right? So it's not gonna always crit. So if it doesn't crit, you kind of doom for. But in general, you always want to go for like a dynamic punch, auto attack, cross shop, and you want to last hit objectives that way. And for the last thing, you obviously can also use cross shop during, or eject button during cross shop. So if we do cross shop into eject button, we can still hit our opponents as well and surprise them. Also something we can totally do. We can, you know, kind of just close the gap even further. And I think just always doing abilities into eject button is gonna catch the enemy off guard, because they just see it and they're like, oh, we're fine, and then suddenly the eject button comes through and you're like, oh, okay, I'm still getting hit by it. Let's jump into some gameplay, because always the best way of explaining things. We take Karate Chop, we Karate Chop the first bunny, very straightforward, and then we keep on going, auto-taking, auto-taking, auto-taking. We don't Karate Chop this one, because we can Karate Chop the next two. Just make sure you don't take too many last hits on accident, which I would try to avoid right here, because otherwise stacking could be difficult. You can either go to top or bot path, doesn't matter where you go, it's gonna work. You can also center with Machamp, but I feel like it's kind of wasted because he's just very good laning. So I always Karate Chop this first to pull it closer to me. We get one stack right here. Luckily, our opponents are not really defending, and now we look for the bulk up into Karate Chop for another stack right here, and for the last hit. And now, like a Bulbasaur can be quite annoying early game. You can see he's already auto-taking me quite a lot. So I'm just going to go back to the left side, because if I go for that top bunny, I might die. It's never worth necessarily dying for stacks too fast, so always be a bit careful about it. If you notice you're getting auto-attack a lot and there's like a Pikachu or Bulbasaur or a Vulpix there, you might not want to overextend. Looking for the Karate Chop last hit as well, and we already got level 5. So very early on, we're also getting ganked by the enemy Scissor right now. So, but I'm already very strong. So Dynamic Punch into boost auto attack into Karate Chop can almost KO someone very, very fast. So I'm not too scared. Our jungler is also here right now. I just want to go in, and we just go into the jungler, and you can see, bam, he already exploded very early on. Very easy KO right here. Now we have 18, which is kind of difficult to score with. But again, we can actually maybe dive this if our mine was there. But obviously don't want to throw our lead away, because we just got a lot. As soon as you get a lot of experience, though, it doesn't really matter if you get stacks in. You can still get stacks probably at some point using a Unite move somewhere, getting that KO in. So we are so totally happy just having this lot of XP right now. Scissor is still down here again now. Gonna look for this last hit as well. Karate Chop and just auto-taking. Enemies are not even there, so I can just take it, doesn't matter what. And we just try to get to level 7 now. And then obviously just try to get our experience in as much as we can. Luckily, we have even XP share support, so we even get more experience down here. Nice wall by the Mime. Just start auto-taking, auto-taking, auto-taking. We have our Dynamic Punch auto-take buff right now. So auto-takes do a good amount of damage. Now we look for the enemy Zorak. And this was kind of scary. Like, he was so fast there, I couldn't really do much about it to stop him from chaining his stuns. And we still get the cross shop though in now to stop him from stacking or scoring those 20 in. And now we can actually maybe dive him as well. If not on Spirit Checker lands, we could look for it. But we don't want to overextend still. We have so much safe farm right now, so we just pick up another another bunny right here. Could maybe look for mid lane. But if you're fighting bot side, not everyone should always go mid lane anyways. Looking for Dynamic Punch right here. Max range, boost auto attack. He does useful here right now, so he got away a bit. But we just auto attack him and run him down. I still don't score these 30 points very badly right now, so I try to help out my owl. And there we go. There's the Dynamic Punch into eject button combo to make sure the Decidueye is fine as well. Otherwise, he probably would have died. So you also see, guys, I also save owls. Then the Dynamic Punch comes over into the cross shop and the boost auto attack for a lot of damage. And now we almost level 9 already, so this game is just looking absolutely great. And you can see our early game damage, early game Dynamic Punch is an incredibly strong move that does a lot. Right here I could maybe score, but I'm like, we can farm some more minions, right? But in the end I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna get those 39 in right now. There was still 3 white Pokemon up, and I'm going to the right side to stack more. I could also just go for the Reggie, By his side, I'm just going to fight right here, go for more stacks instead, first now. Don't let the enemy use some room for, like, some breathing room, because we know we're very strong right now. So I'm going for this last hit as well. Sadly, my, no, actually everything is fine right now. Just see the blue buff is up. Objectives are nice, but taking enemy farm away still has, I feel like, higher priority. So I'm still another 6. I know I want to use Unite move right here, because I have nothing else to do anyways. But there's this thing right here that I talked about, where you have to be careful about cross-shopping, right? So I actually don't make this wall, which is ridiculous, because I kind of made it to the past. If I do it this direction, I would have made it, but since I made it in this direction, I kind of get stuck on the wall. So I just activate my Unite move right here, and I just punch them instead into this wall as well. And as soon as I see my dynamic punch, I just wanted to buy time for this to be up. I dynamic punch him, and then I use the move speed from it to actually just run away, get to safety, we cross-shop away as well. Didn't take the jump hit there, because I thought the Ivysaur was going to reach me. No, I just played with him a bit. I was going to see, you know, Venusaur play is always a bit weird. I just want to see if he's actually going to continue chasing if I stand still, and he actually did. So yeah, pick up a level 11 right here. I'm just going to pick up a blue buff to heal up a bit as well. Could have left it for a jungler, of course, but I don't think he's going to mind too much. And now we can go for the Reggie still. Of course, it was a bit awkward, but like, it's just a lot of time gets invested going for objectives sometimes, and the enemies are not getting it either, so honestly, it doesn't matter too much. I'm just looking around for fights there. We are very strong right now, but now we go to the Reggie, and we're going to pick it up. I'm just trying to see vision to see if the enemies maybe walk in. Our entire team is here now, so we just pick up the Reggie. The problem is, if you break golds, right? If you break golds, you kind of still have to pressure your opponents, otherwise you lose a lot of experience. And I still wanted full stacks as well, so I think it was totally fine what happened. I got some KOs, I got some scores in. Now we get our last stack in. And our Unite's almost back up, going for this NDD. I know we're very strong right now, so I don't really care too much, but I should be careful since I don't have Unite move up. So I'm just going to score one more time to get more energy recharge on my Unite move, and now we help our Decidueye go for this KO right here, which is getting kind of close. There's a Pikachu level 4 tackle, so I just cross-shot back out, use out my Dynamic Punch, move speed to get back out, and we're to safety. We can go for the blue buff again, because no one else is currently here. Just pick it up very fast so we can defend bot afterwards, because they might go for a push now here that they pushed me away. There's a Zorak up top path. And now we're almost level 12 already. I just want to really hit level 13 as fast as possible so I can have those full cross-shop stacks, right? Because then my damage just gets increased by a crazy amount. So that's our main goal. We have Unite move up. It's 435, so we can kind of want to use it maybe for a better team fight. So I'm just going to help out my Mr. Man right here. You can see I'm not permanently auto-attacking because I'm kind of waiting for my cooldowns to be back up. Because my champ is still very squishy. You die still very, very fast, so you have to be careful. And now my mime gets chased down. Pikachu's here. And I just decide to Dynamic Punch him into cross-shop. And we crit! And you can see the damage. It's very nice. Just basic Dynamic Punch, boosted auto-attack, cross-shop back out. And either we get the KO or we don't, but the move speed from Dynamic Punch will still be enough to get out anyways. So either I KO him and I get out, or I don't KO him and I still get out, right? So you can see my champ has a lot of mobility. Yes, well, again, I don't know if anyone is behind him, so I don't want to overchase too much, but I decide, okay, let's just go. I dodge away from his high horsepower, because I know he's going to use it after the Ice Crash. Cross-shop, basic attacks, he gets slowed now from this basic attack. Actually, at X speed up, so he didn't get slowed. Somebody else would have went down right here, but it doesn't matter too much. There's still an Ivysaur, and you can see our damage right now. He tries to live with the Giga Drain, but we just run him down, and we crit. You can see even with that, our crits do a lot of damage, right? So the Scope Lens comes in play. You can see I critted 1400 damage. Of course, he's level 8 right now. He missed out on a lot of experience, probably a bit tilted as well. And you can see right here, the Scope Lens damage also. This is actually Scope Lens damage right here. This is what people don't understand about Scope Lens, that if when you crit, you do bonus damage to like 75% of your attack damage. And Machamp has a crazy amount of attack damage, so Scope Lens just does 881 damage right here, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? Or just a basic attack, extra basic attack damage. That's why Scope Lens on a Zoomer is also such a good choice. We jump in again right here. I see, okay, this was very close. So my Unite gives me unstoppable things, right? So I kind of just went in right here. I made sure just cross-shop. I talked about the cross-shopping back out, but I wanted to kill him, but then his Pikachu appeared. I wasn't sure that Pikachu's actually here. And then I use my Unite move right here to dodge away from the Thunderbolt that's about to hit me. So I activate my Unite. I get my first unstoppable. Bam, I dodge it. And I instantly start punching them and just hope that I KO them before they KO me. And we get a nice double KO still, or triple in the end, thanks to the Ivysaur. And we get away. This was the last time we could Unite move anyways, and now we are level 13, and we can start stacking our cross-shop. You can see right here. So I'm just looking for white Pokemon, currently at 6 stacks, which means we have 12 bonus attack damage. gonna run around. The problem is we do so much damage already that these things just die very fast. That's why I mean looking for Altarias is great, but right now I was looking for some. This right now is a bit too deep without Unite Move and my HP. Up top is no Altarias are being up, so I just have to take other stuff and we just try to get to 14 or maybe even 15 still right here. My goal is always being level 14 or 13 as Machamp. 13 is good enough. And now I see the Altarias spawning, and I instantly walk to them. I saw in the minimap them spawning up here. And now we can stack. You can see 18, 22, 25, 27, and suddenly we are at 30 stacks almost. Sadly, my team was around, so they also took a lot of those last hits or like the damage on it. And now I'm 14.5 at 240, so my kind of goal is getting level 15. I see my Gardo was scoring. I'm going to check if someone is jumping. I just help him out. We actually get those 2 scores in, which is insane. This should be insanely illegal. Like, we should never get away with this. But now I'm very close to 15. I'm going to steal away a bit more jungle, but I realized enemies are pushing bot very hard, so I'm going to recall. Enemy Venusaur just Unite Move. They KO 2 of us. And we try to defend the goal maybe in time still. Dynamic Punch back in. Auto Tech, Cross Chop. I actually missed it right here because of the block, but that's my fault. Should have adjusted to the block of Snorlax, you know. And now we are level 15. And now it's where the fun also begins, because we have so much attack damage. We have such insane high attack, especially after using Dynamic Punch on my Unite Move. I'm waiting for the Zoroark right here. Cross-shopping back into Dynamic Punch this time, just to close the gap a tiny bit better. But we are still 2 down right now, so kinda comes down me, Mr. Mime right here, to maybe win a team fight. Which can be kinda scary, because enemies have a low CC. So I'm kinda just waiting for something to happen first. I'm just waiting around, because we have such a huge lead. And if the enemies start Rayquaza, I can maybe wipe them. But yeah, we go in, Pikachu Unite gets popped. And I see an angle just like Unite Move right here, right? They're all stacked on each other, and we hit. This is what I mean about Machamp Unite. It's so insane how much damage it does. If you look for these angles, right? Mr. Mime was going down, and I just saw them all lined up. We just go. At this point, we just go. We don't even have to use our eject button right here. But yeah, they're all clumped up in this position, perfectly grouping up. And then we just activate Unite Move, and we don't hesitate. Again, also using my Unite Move so I don't get stunned necessarily, because there's a lot of stuns in this area. So I even got stunned still a bit, but I dodged some other ones, and we just punch them back to the base. And now we have to look for more KOs. So I'm going to go very aggressive right now, because as soon as we get more KOs, we win the game. Dynamic Punch onto this guy, Cross Chop, and you can see me just crit 4 times. This is so insane on this Pokemon. Sometimes so often you're going to crit, especially in late game. So you can see Dynamic Punch, Auto Attack, that's the 1 crit. My Cross Chop actually wasn't the one critting. Basic attack crit, and he's gone. Looking for the last guy now, looking for my Penta KO, of course. Here I eject button away from his feint attack so he can't chain it, otherwise I would have died. And then we just basic attack for the Penta. Also just something like very minor, that eject button right there. To make sure that Zoroark doesn't get his last final slash out, because I think I would have actually died. Wait, did my Cross Chop actually crit? So right here, I have to eject button away from this one right here, otherwise he would have maybe executed me. And then we just go back in with a Cross Chop, we start basic attacking, looking for the Dynamic Punch, which we actually missed. And then we get him. So yeah, didn't really do the flank in this game, because it wasn't needed. So sometimes you can see you don't even have to use your Unite Move, you know, to flank. But most of the time, you want to use your, you know, Dynamic Punch to actually go in. I can also show clips still again. Look, the game is still not over, right? So we obviously still want to do more things. Make sure the enemies... We don't do Rayquaza. Actually, this was so funny. I was standing still, so Mr. Mime can power swap me, because I'm a nice player. I'm standing still, so he doesn't have to aim it. And he actually missed it on me. Again, I was waiting for him to just go for me. And here, again, we just do a Cross Chop, close this gap, into the Dynamic Punch, because we want the stun, and the Cross Chop damage is not always reliable. So Cross Chop first, into Dynamic Punch, so we get the stun in, we get the slow in, right? And then it's easy running our opponents down, standing still again, so we can get power swapped. We Cross Chop in, we Dynamic Punch into the boosted auto attack, doing a lot of damage, and we just auto take the Machamp as well now. Have to be a bit careful though. He said Unite Move up. Dynamic Punch, boosted auto attack, he's gone. And the enemy surrendered. This right here, for an example, you saw this clip in the beginning of the video. We just, you saw eject button here to even get further behind the enemies, to surprise them. So I would have landed here, which is kind of a bad position, so I just used my eject button to realign this, so I know I can punch him into this direction, right? So we realign it, because I know the enemies are down here. And then we punch them all together. Because if I didn't have to do that, or like if I didn't use my eject button right here, I might have just punched them in a bad way or something. And this just makes sure I get the stun in. I line them up perfectly. And we just go for it. And here one final clip as well to show off the eject button with the Unite Move right here. I know my Unite Move is right here, and I surprise them out of the bush. They don't have vision on me right now. So I activate my Unite Move, and I just eject button into them. And they have no time to react to it, and we punch them all back to the fountain quite easily. So yeah, very satisfying Pokemon to play. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide, and let me know what you want to have a guide about as well. Hope you really guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys did, check out my other Ultimate guides, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel.